Okay. We gotta inspect the body now. I think that's where we left off, if I remember. That is what we were doing. Yeah.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and white boots. His skin is marbled with decaying veins and blotched by lividity. On his chest, a fading web of tattoos. The cargo belt used to hang him from the tree looks reinforced.
Inspect the boots.
The material appears to be ceramic. Its clean white stands in stark contrast to the decaying flesh above the knee. The man wore thick polymer socks, probably for padding. A fine array of interlocking plates covers them.
So he's like, they did say he was a mercenary, that one French guy.
Delicate and fragile, they feel alien to the world around you, out of place somehow. These are clearly not boots. They're armor, possibly part of a larger set.
These aren't just boots. Are they their armor?
Indeed. Technically speaking, these are sabatons, not boots.
What kind of armor is this exactly?
Ceramic plate. Zirconium dioxide, most likely. This is where the make would be.
Where?
Under the heel. Fair weather. Fair weather model T500 VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous enamel. This is advanced stuff.
What happened to the rest of it?
The locals probably scavenged it. It would be odd if he had more on after 7 days. We should keep a lookout for these species. The armor could yield information. This is one thing he might actually know.
Maybe he's just wearing these boots and there is no rest of the armor.
No, I think he had something precious underneath the clothes. They had to remove the jeans and shirts we found to get to it. And this kind of armor is often worn under fabrics.
Nice. That makes sense.
What if they told him to strip before they hung him to demean him?
They usually hang them completely naked for that. La puta madre, the Mazda, the Besmerties and the like. This one still has his underpants.
Fucking talking about underpants.
Shut the fuck up, Kuno.
Clearly, Kuno would like to interject something here, but there's not enough for him to hold on to.
The material looks out of place here.
It is. It's expensive.
The lieutenant draws a line in the condensation on the ceramic with his index finger.
We've requested similar material for our tactical units for years now. The constabularies deemed it too costly. In that time, we've lost 6 men to semi-automatics.
How much are we talking about?
For a full set, about 4 years of wages.
For the northwest region of Revachol, an officer's average yearly income is 5,500 real, unadjusted for rank.
That's a lot, I take it.
As a wage, it's regrettably small. But for a piece of hardware, yes, that's a lot.
How could this man afford such expensive hardware?
That's for us to find out. My initial report on the area suggests he was a security guard for the harbor company. But that's just hearsay.
Initial report?
Just something I scraped together from my station. An area report on Martinez. I'm sure you did the same.
He's not actually sure of that. He's just being tactful.
These look pretty advanced for a security guard.
I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford.
Let's knock on the boot.
A small bell-like sound fills the air, like tapping on the side of a porcelain cup.
It sounds fragile.
It's anything but. This material is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads kinetic energy horizontally, from plate to plate, dissipating it entirely. See?
Faint, organic lines cover the plates where they separate into smaller ones. These plates then divide into smaller plates until there are hundreds of them altogether, like whirls of floorboards. The design looks organic, influenced by highly resistant wood materials, like lignum vitae and ebony perhaps.
What does this remind me of?
If trees were made of porcelain, this is what their cross-sections would look like.
Run my finger over the lines.
The smooth, glossy surface fractures into ever more intricate interconnections, peaking on the right sabaton, where you notice the whirls are in the shape of a letter and number combination, E50, 100, 1000.
Looks like there's a serial number on the right Sabaton.
Good. Can you read it to me?
E50 100 1000.
We have a make and a number. That's something. We can use the radio in my kinema when we're done. Either station can chase it for us.
Pull the boot off.
This feels dangerous. Are you sure?
Grab the boot under my arm.
The stench fills your nostrils. As you push downward, an ominous creaking sound comes from above.
Stop!
The lieutenant's voice is sharp. He looks at you with the boot under your arm.
Pig's gonna pull his head off.
Brutal!
Let go of the boot.
What's wrong with you, asshole? Where's he letting go, Kuno?
I don't know, baby. I don't know why he's such a...
Officer, if I may ask, what were you trying to achieve by putting on the deceased foot?
Back off and look at the corpse.
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos and extremities blotched
Because I don't want to
pink
fuck up
and blue.
the corpse. Because then we can't look at like the head if we fucking pull it off and destroy it. It'll compromise it. Inspect the belt.
The hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. Yellow, hard-edged polyester cuts into his neck. Above, a sliding buckle ties the belt to the branch. This is a steel-reinforced cargo lashing belt, big brother of the regular cargo belt. It's used for tying cargo under six-rotor airships.
Don't ask me how I know, but this is a lashing belt used for airlifting cargo.
Airlifting? I thought it was used on lorries for strapping cargo to them.
Apparently this is the reinforced kind for air transport. My brain tells me so.
The local harbor uses 6 rotors to shuffle containers around. I get the sense they use whatever was on hand without paying much attention to not incriminating themselves.
We're assuming dock workers from the harbor did it?
The brief suggested as much, politically motivated by the ongoing strike. Did you not get a briefing?
Yeah.
Then you should ask me the first moment we get.
They sure wanted him to stay up there. The rope was reinforced with steel wiring.
I was afraid it would be. Thin steel wiring, parallel strands. This makes getting him down more problematic than I had assumed.
How did they even get him up there?
A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around.
He points to the buckle tying the belt to the branch above. Did they climb up using the kid's ladder? Point to the one at the side of the tree.
That ladder can't carry a grown man. I didn't see any splintering either, did you? I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on the belt to close the buckle.
He makes a pulling motion.
Could be. The shape of the branch supports the theory. The cadaver hangs from the cargo belt, limbs limp and torso
Inspect the
covered in
tattoos.
tattoo. An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart. His corpse is marked by stars,
What will mine be marked by?
alcohol, and heartbreak.
Is this a national pattern? If it's stars. Is this a map of the night sky?
A map of the stars. I do see some similarity to astronomical charts. Great Century Messinian, maybe. But this seems more particular. Customized somehow.
As if someone left out most of the night sky, filtering it through personal choice. The principle of this filter remains unknown to you. The thought dissipates, and you feel as though you were only half right.
I'm missing something here.
So am I.
A sudden ringing fills the air as the lieutenant pulls down the zipper of his orange jacket.
He takes a thin piece of milled aluminium from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Sounds like a sword being unsheathed. A small lens appears. Some sort of camera.
Let him cook. Let him work.
Shit, Kuno! What the fuck is that?
An instant color camera.
He produces 2 metal-capped ampoules, whatever. He produces 2 metal-capped ampoules and clicks them into place. On the side of the apparatus, a thin slot shines there.
I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want
Ampoules?
to waste one.
He points the camera at the corpse, peering into it. The lens needs adjusting. Then,
A sound, a shrill flash, followed by the breaking of a small ampoule of glass. You see streams of color pour onto the thick, glossy piece of paper, rolling out.
In case we need it.
the lieutenant says and shakes the paper, letting it dry in the cold wind. On it, a color-perfect copy of the dead man's tattooed chest. Cool machine.
Yes, it is pretty cool, isn't it?
What do we need this photo for?
It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story he wanted his body to tell was important to him. It is his letter to us. Someone should decipher it. We'll need to show it around.
Say nothing.
Here, a souvenir. Don't lose it.
The glossy-eyed corpse looks by, his mouth mute and his skin as colorful as the chemical rainbow on the photo paper, teeming with opportunistic organisms.
Look him in the eye.
His eyes are milky white and blind to the world, protruding comically from their sockets. There is no one home, just subaquatic terrors there. Dark brown hair grows on his head. His face is ready to explode from the organic processes inside. The death's head grin has passed. What remains is an unrecognizable mess.
Tell me, who are you, dead man?
I'm gone.
I can see you're gone, but who are you?
I'm a joke. Look at me.
You are now, but who were you when you were alive?
A killer. A motherfucker. And a killer.
I have another question for you.
Go ahead, Cobbo.
Where have you gone?
Into the wild pale yonder.
And where is that?
In the past. Way out in the west.
What is happening?
What do you mean?
I'm talking to you.
It's the power of your
Black frosty wicklets just bubbling on his lips.
imagination.
Yeah, man! Don't be crazy! Inanimate objects and dead people can't really talk to you. Your wild imagination is doing this. Ask some more of those questions you love so much.
Forgot about the necktie.
He loves those
Why do I love questions so much?
because you're a copperoonie. Look at all of them go. Do you want more questions?
Give me a comical amount of questions.
Coming right up, copperoonie Rooney. This is getting upbeat now.
Is my name Rooney?
Fuck no. You're no Rooney.
Of course not. The name is Raphael Ambrosius Casto.
Listen to yourself. You're not a Raphael anything. You're probably just Harry or something. That's right.
I
Harry.
feel like I've been getting a lot of Harry lately.
You might be onto something there.
Why do I feel like I've forgotten something terrible?
Because you have.
Who killed you?
Love did me in, Provocopo. It was love all along.
Can you ask me a question?
Sure, Lobo. I can ask you a question. Why are you doing this?
What?
Looking at my face, motionless. Looking into my eyes, standing here. Why are you investigating my murder?
Because maybe this will lead to something. Something indescribable, unforeseen, miraculous. The clown lips on the corpse appear to smile. The face rotates before you slowly.
Something is on its way. Something hidden. It's coming. A miracle from the northwest, and it's almost here. You can feel it in the air, on your hands. The cold spring air smoothing them over.
Enough.
Come back later, Corpo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible,
Also, see me in your dreams.
Squint and take a step back.
As you narrow your eyes, the monster before you blurs into a violent mess of green and pink. This is a trick. You've done it before. Pink is where the blood settled in the first hours post-mortem. You can use it to see if the corpse has been tampered with. Does his position at the time of death match the discoloration?
Observe.
Only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of blue. His fatted hands, thighs, and his neck, just above the noose. The rest of the corpse appears dark green in the cold spring air.
His face and his hands are pink, and his thighs are too.
I see it. His neck too. The lividity goes right up his chin. We have good, well-pronounced discoloration here.
Relax my eyes.
The monster comes back into focus, an explosion of color, coursing with dark marbled veins. His stomach appears pregnant with something. Black liquid streams down his thigh and onto his boot.
So, what do you think?
I think he was upright after his death. His hands, feet, and neck are discolored.
Agreed, especially on the neck. The belt acted like a tourniquet, keeping the blood in his head. The hypostasis supports a hanging.
Could it still be he was moved after death?
There's always a chance. We should check for ligament marks on his neck to see if they're in tune with the belt. We'll have to get him down first.
Something is coming out of him.
A pool of blood and feces has eaten into the frozen mud below the man's feet. Purge liquid is dripping into it, drop by drop.
The victim appears to have contained no more than half a kilogram of digestion at the time of death.
The fuck he's saying?
Talking about shit.
Maybe he went to the toilet sometime before death.
Maybe.
He doesn't really want to dwell on it too long. He's beaten up. See the bruises?
I do. Most of them are post-mortem. Maybe even all of them. The delinquents have made our jobs harder with their little sport.
Stop talking in riddles, coin slot.
It means you fucked him up good, Kuno. Fucked him up brutal like.
Let's back off and catch our breath.
But there is no breath to catch. Only the cadaver filling the air and your nostrils. He slowly rotates before you, decomposing.
I have something. So how do we get him down?
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things once he's done.
He stops to think and shakes his nuts. Step back and have another look first.
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in
something I need to know,
tattoos,
corpse.
and
Of course. You have questions, don't you? The power of your imagination is at your service.
I hate you, you stink, and you're boring.
Do I remind you of someone?
a child born with Muller's disease, harlequinism, grown up miraculously.
A baby affected with harlequinism? Harlequinism?
You sure I got out of that one? Coppolini. Come back later, Corpo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners.
The steel-reinforced belt presents a unique challenge. I brought chain cutters, but I don't see a good angle of approach to the belt.
He doesn't actually think the challenge is unique. He thinks it's frustrating, annoying, and harder than he thought.
Yeah.
The cadaver is a good 1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even if we do, there's the question of cutting the airship strength material.
We could saw the branch.
Climb up there and saw the branch?
Yeah, it seems dangerous.
There has to be a less risky way, with less falling down of trees.
Maybe we can ask for help from the harbor?
I was really hoping we wouldn't. The Union appeared to be suspect in this case. It seems like a dangerous route to go down.
Yeah, let's reconsider.
But what other options? The corpse twists on the belt, like chicken on a skewer.
Can't somebody else do it?
Someone else? You mean like the police?
You have a point there.
Sadly, yes. The whole RCM is out there right now, doing the exact same thing we are. Are we in a rush to help them? Not with this on our hands.
He covers his nose.
I know it's hard, but I assure you, the others won't come to help us. And we have a growing sanitary concern here. We need to get him down, fast.
Maybe we could shoot him down.
Yeah! Bang bang time, pig! Shoot his head off!
How?
Where the buckle ties the rope to the branch, that's a good spot to aim.
Point to it there. The buckle holds the belt together.
Where? Ah, yes, I see. If the shot hits that, there might be a chance to release the belt.
Yeah, now we're talking. Entertain the Kuno with some shit.
They'll miss! The pigs will miss Kuno!
Say nothing and let him choose.
Silence. With his elbow sharp, the lieutenant unzips his jacket and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 tucks.
Nice.
That's a Kiel A9090 Armistice, mass-produced muzzleloader, ascetic, frugal, one of the most common firearms in the world. He then steps back and assumes the fellow's desk position, taking aim. The corner of his eye twitches. His finger is on the trigger.
Say nothing.
He's gonna fucking miss!
The kid's voice is drowned in a shrill blast that echoes off the walls of the surrounding tenements. A cloud of smoke slowly parts in the air as the lieutenant steps back and says to himself,
God damn it.
he feels bad about his eyes mostly, just having bad eyesight, probably from a young age. Whatever you do, do not console him.
Fucking idiot! Mookabat asshole!
Kuno could have hit it easy, but then Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he?
What now? Conclude.
I have to say, it's beginning to look unlikely we can get him down without assistance.
Can I have the gun? I should try.
It's bad as it is. Us shooting firearms like punks.
He pauses, then shrugs and proceeds to load the pistolet.
Go ahead, I'm not stopping you. Just don't lose it.
The piece shines in his outstretched hand.
They only have one gun!
This is the sorriest pair of pigs Kuno's ever seen.
Take the gun.
Yeah, take it, you fucking banana pointer! Take it and shoot yourself in the mouth!
Feel the weight first.
The cold piece of bakelite and gunmetal is surprisingly light. Your fingers fit right through the guard, instinctively resting on the trigger.
The fuck are you waiting for, Kuno? Tell him to shoot himself in the mouth!
Point the gun at the belt.
The buckle comes into focus in your sights. You stand with your feet planted firmly in the ground and your left hand supporting your gun arm.
Why don't you just shoot yourself in your mouth? At least you won't miss.
Close your left eye first.
Your field of view narrows. The branch slowly moves, becoming entirely two-dimensional. The metal buckle glimmers, catching the evening light as the corpse slowly rotates. The slow movement of the branch in the wind and your shoulders directing the gun sync up, dancing hypnotically.
Look, he's crying! You gonna cry now, fucking faggoty?
Pull the trigger. It's like a 4th chance. We might do it. I'm so
buckle
fucking awesome.
explodes
Jesus
into
Christ.
tiny pieces, coming loose with a whir. With your hand numb from the recoil, you look at the body slump down. For a moment, the man appears to kneel in front of you, looking straight at you, helpless, trapped within itself.
Who killed you?
Communism.
Fair enough.
Then the rigor in his muscles gives up, and he smashes sideways into the spring mud, letting out a horrid stench.
How did I do that?
By being a damn good shot. Ace is high.
The lieutenant raises his right hand, waiting for you to slap it.
The ace is high, a custom invented by the aerostatic brigades during the revolution, is used to celebrate success in Revachol, especially in sports. The gesture is spread across the world, despite the defeat of the revolutionaries themselves.
Slap it.
The lieutenant takes a little hop to perform the customary salutation. Your palm hurts from the slap. It's precise and down to the point.
We unlocked Ace High, the audiobook or something.
I knew these guys were
What now?
We will perform a field autopsy and determine the cause of death. But before... Excuse me.
He needs to turn away from the corpse.
It looks like I feel like taking a break from the stench. I'm sorry to interrupt the jubilations here. Just a little breather before we do the autopsy.
Alright, give him back his gun.
I would suggest we interview Everhart and Joyce, the leader of the Union and the Wild Pines rep. But we've already done that, so it's up to you, detective. Take us where we need to be.
He trusts you have plenty of things in a task chain lined up.
Skill points 2. So, I see. Learn all endurance white chest unlocked. Learning have for endurance raised to 4. 1 + 1 encyclopedia + 1 empathy. I see. Ask the Kid Kuno about the armor. Run the number on the victim's armor. Ask him to tell you about the case. Ask around about the tattoos. And perform the field autopsy. We still have to... do the talk to the smoking man after 2100. So it is currently 9:46. So we just have some time. Let's look at this. Lieutenant Katsuragi, that's from Neon. Lieutenant Kitsuragi snapped this photo of the hangman's tattoos. It displays the intricate web of blue lines stretching across his torso. You have to admit, it does look quite cool.
An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso of the hanged man, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time the lines intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart. It still kind of looks like a map of the stars in the night sky, but something's not right.
Who are you?
Gone.
What's the meaning of this tattoo?
For you to discover. You've gotten as far as you will without assistance. Someone who knows about history could tell you.
Put the photo away. Maybe the librarian?
Fuck, does Kuno care?
I talked to the gardener. She said not to listen to you.
Pig, do you have any idea how fucking stupid that sounds? Kuno's cruising his bitch on the town, and the bitch comes back griefing to the Kuno. What is up with that?
Get the fuck out of here, fat ass! Those pants are too small for you.
Figure out what's going on with this kid.
What's going on is an ungovernable youth on your crime scene, throwing around incendiary language, trying to push your buttons. Like you don't have enough on your plate. You feel a sudden surge of self-pity coming on.
Kuno, City of Rage, Night City, what's going on here? I am intrigued.
No! You told him about it and now he knows your name!
This city is not fucking lame. You are lame. Kuno's tired of defending Rage City from... Just fuck off, alright? And fuck you too, putting Kuno on the spot like that. Kuno doesn't need to fucking explain his shit. Kuno's king. He rules here. Fuck did you want?
Explain himself, as if explaining some kind of work? Some kind of avant-garde work way ahead of its time?
I'm intrigued.
You must get to the bottom of this one of these days. Sadly, it's unlikely to happen today.
Alright, I'm off.
Kuno doesn't fucking care. Fuck does Kuno care?
I want to discuss the body with you, Kuno.
The fuck about it?
There are contusions all over his body. Did you do that?
Fuck are you talking about? What is this contusion shit?
He grabs his head like it's suddenly hurting.
He says you're stupid, Kuno. They want to make you stupid again.
A contusion is a bruise. I'm talking about the marks your stones left on the corpse.
Oh, did Kuno make your shit sniffing harder? Obstruction of shit sniffing? This is Kuno's kingdom. Kuno fucking rules here.
You hear the lieutenant hum.
Where's the rest of his armor?
Kuno doesn't give a shit about the armor.
How come?
Kuno's fuck gimp's got one big thing wrong with him. He's a fucking mutant.
Mutant?
Look at him. Fucking growth hormone shit. He's a giant. The armor's too big for any man. Kuno doesn't give a shit about that freak armor. Kuno threw that shit away.
What do you mean you threw it away?
Kuno tried to get the helmet on. It was too big.
Performs a kickoff on the imaginary helmet.
Kuno kicked that shit in the sea, rugby style. That shit means nothing to Kuno.
You threw it in the sea.
Yeah? That shit means nothing to Kuno. Kuno doesn't give a shit about material shit. Kuno's a fucking monk. You wanna fuck on someone about that armor? Go fuck the mustached union fuck. The jolly troubadour shit at the gate.
What do you mean troubadour?
Yeah, cock and boot. You know that jolly union cow fucker? Came around talking about cows or some shit? Came around pretending like he cares about cows?
Yes, you met him at the gates. The one with the boots and the jolly smile.
You mean manana?
Yeah, he's the one you want to talk to. He's fucking crazy about that armor shit. Coming here pretending like he likes cows. Trying to catch a peep at Kuno's armor.
Yes, this troubadour has it. You can feel it.
More on this later. Right now, let's talk about something else.
You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Get lost.
Kuno doesn't...
Okay, so the troubadour...
What do you see?
knows where the armor is.
Yes?
And I get to level up. I feel like hand-eye coordination needs to be leveled up. Yeah, hand-eye coordination needs to be leveled up. Because I can't fuck up shooting stuff, because then I'll die, I'll get shot, I'll get killed.
Yes?
Tell me about the case again.
What do you want to know?
Now that we've inspected the scene, I want to know more about this pissing competition you mentioned.
What's there to say? It's just stupidity.
What kind of stupidity?
The cop kind. Our precincts can't decide if Martinez is part of Jamrock or the Industrial Harbor. Yours or mine. as if we somehow own parts of the city. Typical street gang mentality. So we've let the Union make a mockery of law enforcement here, and now it's come to its natural conclusion.
So this is a struggle over who runs Martinez.
Well, sort of. It's less a matter of who gets to police Martinez than who has to. It's an orphan district, in other words. I think the dispatch desk just told both our stations about the hanging. There was quite the brouhaha at the 57th, I can tell you that. Time to settle it, they said. Cop off. But I assure you, I am not their finest or toughest, with 102 cases solved. What I am is least interested in a pissing competition.
So what's so special about Martinez?
Martinez? Nothing. It's just a puddle at the end of some drain pipe. No one cares about this place. They care about sports. Most of our colleagues don't even know how to get here. Most of the interchange doesn't exist.
I wonder what this says about me that I was sent by my station.
Hmm.
You raised an eyebrow, thinking it was best to let you make a move. I'm gonna leave why I was sent unspecified.
The silence carries.
Okay, tell me enough of this competition, then tell me something else.
Yes, it's a wholly pointless matter. Forget I ever mentioned it.
Why did the 41st send me?
Look at you. It's because you're a failure. They sent you to slight Precinct 57.
That can't be right.
Just think about it for a second. You're a raging alcoholic who showed up 3 days late and argues with his necktie. You weren't sent here to win.
Okay, and what if my precinct sent me on this case because I'm a fuck up, like, as a joke?
I've considered it.
So it's true.
It would be immensely ugly of them, not to mention unprofessional. But I also think it's somewhat unlikely.
Why is that?
I checked the records. This jurisdiction dispute, who polices Martinez, reaches back to the 30s. It's as old as my station. And all this time we can't decide who gets Martinez? I think, yes, both stations would prefer a win.
So you are their finest.
I am the finest of nothing.
You really see me as a safe bet?
Safe? No. But you're old. You've made it this far. Something has brought you through. We've only just started working together, so I don't know what it is yet. But it's there. So no, I don't think they sent you as a joke. And even if they did, they are in for a surprise.
Yeah, we have to ask him to tell us about the case.
Yes?
Won't you tell me about the case?
What do you want to know?
Literally anything? I can't remember a single thing about it.
Ah, yes. The case brief you missed. Now I remember.
Brief, yes, that sounds good.
3 days ago, the RCM emergencies desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. The cadaver had been there for 4 days. No one had come to investigate. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as part of this dispute.
Wait, does the briefing say who the victim was?
A security guard or worker of some sort hired by Wild Pines. This was just hearsay from Martinez, of course. We need to find out the truth.
Why didn't we know anything about the caller?
They didn't identify themselves in any way. The tone was muffled using a device of some sort. The desk could identify neither the caller's age nor sex.
Why hide themselves?
There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dock workers' union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that.
Hold on, the RCM is?
That's us, the Revachol Citizens Militia. We're the police in this city.
The RCM, or the Revachol Citizen Militia, is the police force you and him are part of. A self-organized peace corps of the occupied city of Revachol. The RCM operates within a legal twilight, yet its authority is rarely questioned. It's super useful to know this.
Of course, yes, I understand everything now.
Just to be clear, we are police officers. It's our job to find the killer. That's the case. Uncover and arrest the killer.
Can we go over the preliminary info again?
You mean like a brief? Do you want me to brief you again?
No, I'll wing it.
There's no reason to wing anything. If you didn't get the brief, that's okay. I did. 3 days ago, the RCM emergencies
Yeah.
desk. During that time, the victim had
Mega
been stripped
cool,
of
I've heard
his
enough.
belongings. Okay then. Was there anything else?
That's all I
Good.
need to know. Oh yeah, get a hold of a sad, sad song on tape.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out
Pick up the
toolbox,
radio.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Could you run a serial number from a pair of armored boots for me?
Sure, officer. What's the number? And the make of the armor, if you know it.
E50 100 1000. The make and model of the armor is Fairweather T500 V over VE. Or just VE.
Got it. I'll contact the ICP database immediately. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully they'll have dug up something useful by then.
The International Collaboration Police, ICP, is an inter-Isolari law enforcement service, the crown jewel in the moral intern diadem, alongside EPIS and the coalition government.
I'm done with the radio for now.
57th, over and out.
In the cabin, you see a set of
Go back in a day. So, at 2011 on... what day is it? I don't know. Tomorrow.
So, how'd you like our harbor?
You've been in there, he means. Talked to the boss man too, probably.
It was nice enough.
It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains.
He notes solemnly, then turns to you, a wide smile adorning his face.
Right. You talk to the boss, eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, I'm set to talk.
Kuno told me you were supposed to know about the armor.
The little boy had the good on his promise.
His promise.
To get me into trouble. To sick the pigs on me, pardon the choice of words. Not mine.
What happened?
I was asked to look into that armor situation. Official Union probe, you know. Track it down, see who took it.
Did you?
At first I thought, why not? Maybe the pieces can feed the strike. Buy us a few more days under the sun, you know? So I went to this boy. He said he'll make me his prison bitch. He's got eyes everywhere and the cops in his pocket and he's the king of Jamrock. Serves me right for doing menial footwork. I dropped that probe right then and there, and it still got me into trouble. One bad move is all it takes.
The probe into the armor. What did you learn?
I learned that people don't want to talk to a drunk Union man about some armor.
What else?
Not much. Technical stuff mostly. That was the interesting part.
What sort of technical stuff?
I did some research into this armadura. Let's say I have friends at the library. I didn't get into the material science, just how it comes off.
How does it come off?
In parts. 4 in total. The helmet was the first to go. The kid says he tore it off and kicked it into the sea. I believe him. The boots were still on the guy last I saw. Too hard to remove. So, as I count, there are 2 parts missing. The gauntlets and the cuirass. This is where I left off. Too much hassle. More like a job for some militia.
Hold on. 4 pieces: helmet, cuirass, gauntlets, boots. What about the leggings?
Oh, they're just gone. They don't exist anymore, if they ever did at all. Forget about them. I did.
I'm ambitious, and I'm gonna find all the pieces.
All of it? There are junior officers out there, eager to prove themselves. I would leave some for them, and I would leave the boots to processing. But okay. Let's find all of it.
It's implied he finds it unlikely that you will succeed in this.
A mezqui's epic then, all across Martinez. I hope it will be a real bonanza for you.
Thank you for the cooperation, sir.
No problem. If you see that kid, thank him from Call Me Mañana. Thank him for showing me the way.
He is sincerely grateful he is not tracking down pieces of armor right now.
Any idea who killed the hangman?
The mercenary, eh? Who could have killed him? That's indeed the question. Why even do such a thing?
He shakes his head solemnly. The Merc was hanged with a very specific type of cargo belt, one often used in heavy transport areas, for example, harbors.
What a thought! Why would noble workers resort to such a thing? Unless they were pushed, of course.
Pushed how?
Your dead guy was an enemy combatant.
Hold up, what does that even mean?
He was an agent of the opposition, attempting to undermine our honorable efforts.
Did you kill him?
I ain't the murdering type, but that's just me. Large organizations like our union have all sorts of men, with all sorts of skills.
Understood. This has been of limited use. Still, thank you.
No problem. I wish the best to you in your search. Sure, I'm glad it's not my search.
You gotta run. Boots off his feet. Bolt cutters, and I got the flashlight for the body.
Fuck does Kuno care?
I talked to Manana about the armor.
So?
He raised his eyebrows, projecting aggressive indifference. He said to thank you. Wasn't too keen on chasing down that armor anyway.
Fuck, okay. Kuno's a giver like that, yes?
Flash the flashlight in his face, give him a seizure.
Kuno sent your fat ass running around like jello.
Look, pig. Kuno sent you to rough some people up. Kuno played you. That happened. Now you and Kuno should move on.
Good idea.
Yes, let's move on.
Yeah, that's what Kuno said. Don't be saying what Kuno said back to Kuno. Get the fuck out of here, Patterson Kuno. After this shit, you better have something real interesting to say if you want to stay in Kuno's face.
Yeah, real interesting.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Interesting. Alright, let's inspect. Hold on.
The rotting man lies on his side with his eyes looking straight through you. The belt is still around his neck. His body is supine and open to intrusion. By autopsy, the lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Tell me something, dead man.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
What is it? Which was it that killed you then? Love or communism?
Huh?
You said love killed you, but when you fell down, you said it was communism.
You're misquoting me, Rooney. I said communism killed me. Love did me in.
You really need to learn the difference, buddy. This is embarrassing.
Come back later, Corpo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori
First,
features.
what exactly is a field autopsy?
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Mundi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single, Epui Descent, to crack the top 20 was the death knell of disco. But what a field autopsy is, you have no idea.
Clap your gloved hands. Let's get in there.
There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest you get in there in limited capacity.
Right.
I'll ask you when I need you to. For the most part, maybe I should handle the contact and you take notes?
Okay, where should I take these notes?
In your paperwork, officer. Just fill out the field autopsy form.
These eyes already expecting the answer. Say nothing and just nod.
You've lost your paperwork, haven't you?
Keep nodding.
Fucking runkaddy! He's afraid to say it.
Man up, pig. You're embarrassing, Kuno.
I'm sure it's somewhere.
Somewhere else?
Yes.
Now they only have one paperwork too.
Officer, what haven't you lost?
My shoes, I have both of them, and I found the other one too.
Good. Otherwise you would only have one shoe now. I can give you my paperwork. There's an autopsy form there. Several actually, but only if it helps move things along.
Let's go work off yours for now.
Right. The autopsy form is near the end.
Open the notebook at the field autopsy form.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with,
Begin 1, assistant.
That's you.
Right, Harry Dubois.
the corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The next box says,
Coroner's case number.
KK57-0803.0815.
Write it down.
Next,
Name.
NA. Next,
Date of birth.
NA.
Age.
Roughly 50.
try 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side.
I'm gonna write about 42.
He nods.
Race.
Mondial.
Fair to olive-skinned, from the Isola of Mwindi. This is as vague as it gets. You might as well say whitish.
Write it down.
The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
Sex.
Fucky fucky!
The little monster exclaims energetically.
Male.
Pigs can have sex.
Write male.
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
Date of death.
We're still going with March 4th. 51.
Write 4.03.51.
What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK 57 0503 0815 listens motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains.
11. Evidence of treatment.
None. At least not after the initial examination.
A strange word. Treatment.
I'm not so sure.
A silent nod. The lieutenant places his gloved hand on the corpse's chest, as if in preparation. Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then, somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosencrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, light drizzle. There is darkness in the shed. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, Grand Coudon. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Dawson. Hand extended, he approaches, to make sure she is dead more than anything else. And so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today, 42 stations of breath.
We should start the post-mortem.
Turn the page.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. it no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
External examination summary.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
He turns the body onto its side to check the underwear label.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
Write it down.
The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem by scavengers in order to get to the victim's ceramic armor. Officers are in search of the missing pieces. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to, you have deserved them more than anyone else.
When am I gonna get them?
Patience. After the autopsy, before the body is taken away, there will be a window of opportunity. After the lieutenant has gone to sleep. I hope this has helped you, my liege.
Knight armor does sound really cool, but then he's gonna be like, why the fuck are you wearing it? Write it down.
The boot has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. The lines between the plates are in the shape of the alphanumerical. The number is purposefully concealed by the design.
Write it down.
Tattoos.
He stands up, feet planted on either side of the body.
The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night sky. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini.
Write it down.
The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end.
Write it down.
Well nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age 42. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature below freezing.
Write it down.
Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with the age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
Touches the corpse's hair before moving on.
The hair under your latex fingers feels cold to touch, wet.
Stroke his hair.
The stench is suffocating. Strands of dark brown hair start sticking to the latex of the glove, like thread off a rag doll's head.
Write it down. Short, light brown, male pattern baldness.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest. Consistent with predation.
Write down.
Ligature mark.
Lieutenant produces a small folding knife, with the other hand pulling on the belt. He starts cutting into the polyester. The stench is horrid. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot be cut.
A steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Good thing we got these chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now,
He points to the rope, squeezing the dead man's neck.
we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
See? My pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Look for a good spot to cut.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the east.
Cut the belt off, or at least try to.
You jam the cutters right under the knot. That seems like a smart idea. Yeah, somewhere there. Already they're buried deep in the man's flesh. Then you rotate them to get a better hold. Then
Fuckity fuck.
The lieutenant looks by, somewhat worried as you summon power words to your aid.
Rotate some more.
A really, really bad smell is coming from there now, and some kind of cracking sound.
Enough. Just cut it.
Yeah, fuck him! Fuck that faggot! Corpse fucking time!
Told you my pig was hardcore.
I should have a go first. I think I have a strategy.
Let him work. Let him cook.
He sinks the cutters into the knot, preparing to perform the cuts, with his elbow to his knee for precision. Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut.
Yeah, I
and
knew-
the
I knew
belt
he
falls
wouldn't fuck
apart
it up,
like
but
a
I
flower
definitely
bouquet,
would.
revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
Here.
He hands you the chain cutter's back and then kneels closer to the body, running his finger along the dark red groove till he comes to a gap.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck, on the nape. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters.
Write it down.
Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia.
Pulls down the man's underpants.
No! Let's get out and see!
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
Inspect the genitals.
The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath.
Gross!
The genitalia is
Ew!
greenish. Marbling is present
Nasty.
around the crotch.
Write it down and move on.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper
Oh
and lower
shit, we gotta talk to
extremities are
the
intact,
smoker guy.
but
It's 2100.
asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades, dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat
The scarring is
duty.
extensive, way more than law officials.
We have a real museum here. Of battles, wars.
Write it down.
Last item, hands.
Takes the man's right hand and in his, inspects it, then moves on to the other hand. Pick up the hand.
His flesh is cold, icy.
Pleased to meet you. Where are you from and what's your name?
My name is...
I'm only fucking with you. I know where you're from. From Cappadocia. And your name is Il Corbo. What can I do you for, Il Corbo de Cappadocia?
Nothing, I got nothing.
Nothing does. This was pleasurable. I sincerely thank you for touching my hand. We should do this more often. Be close like this, I mean.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling.
Were we expecting any?
I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment.
Write it down.
Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
Take a peek at Kim's notes.
You find a moment as the lieutenant inspects the dead man's fingernails. Just a few glances. The pages are filled with a bulky freehand that's nearly illegible.
Try to understand what the lieutenant has written about the case at hand.
It's very hard to draw conclusions. All you can make out is that he is in a hurry to solve the case. The tempo of the handwriting says as much, and that there are a lot of notes in there. Most of them are made prior to arriving at the scene, in preparation. It's not spelled out explicitly, but the lieutenant fears a tear is forming between the liberal moralist establishment of Revachol and her populist citizenry. This populist force, a potpourri of far right and left, is exemplified in the debauchery
Just like the
human.
United States.
Their strike, if allowed to escalate into violence, adds to the growing sense of civil war in the city. He's extremely neutral, even in his notes. But avoiding this escalation is Kim's primary concern when dealing with the situation in Martinez.
Ha. Oh, so Search for something about you.
Maybe you're imagining it, but there are some remarks in there, and they're not all negative. You're referred to as the 41st by your station number, and
Better not to know, just back to something else.
So, where were we on this?
Oh, so here it is.
What?
Let's leave. We gotta go talk to the smoker guy. It's 2100. Let's get our Fritta bag and let's go talk to Stoner. And eventually we gotta go talk to the librarian because she might know something about the armor or the dye or something related to the because the troubadour said something about that. Actually, I don't remember which. It's the balcony. I see. It's the one with the purple. I do remember. A maroon glow of light pollution rises from the east.
this door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Someone here really values their security.
It's 10 minutes after 2100, so he should be here. Let's knock.
No one answers.
We should return tomorrow. Tomorrow at 9 p.m.
But it is 9 p.m. Let's knock again.
No one answers.
We should return tomorrow.
Okay. So we can just do the rest of the examination. Probably give Kim a break. He might throw up and vomit and cry and piss himself.
Trying to sneak up.
Oh, hold on. There's more tear for me to get. More drag. And I need money. I need to pay my bill. The whirling and round.
The rotting man, the lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Internal examination summary.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
Nope. Right, NA.
Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous.
Yeah, jack that fucker off.
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable.
Write that down.
Respiratory system.
Back hunched, as if in prayer, he begins to pry open the dead man's jaws. He stops to exert more force. Both hands are used.
Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen, hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. The tendons of his jaw are torn apart, hyoid ripped from the force of the lieutenant's hands.
Look inside the dead man's mouth.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there, sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his.
Look deeper inside.
It's hard. Once more, you taste stomach acid in the back of your throat. A contraction. Your throat pumps a little something from your stomach and into your mouth. You're forced to swallow, just to keep looking. Inside, you see darkness. Just a mess
Maybe I
of
shouldn't have
meat
done that.
and darkness.
There are ancient mysteries down there, Kobo. Ask me later.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus.
Write it down.
Hepatobiliary, Na.
Why? Don't we have anything?
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
Write it. I don't think so.
Neither am I.
Write NA.
Same for toxicology and serology, Na.
Write NA.
Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging.
Write it down.
Gastrointestinal.
He breathes a sigh of approaching relief. This is the last field on the list. He looks around to the ground. The pool of feces there.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
Write it down. Omit the voila.
What's next on the list?
Description of imagery's summary.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
What's the 4th injury field for?
Nothing. Just in case.
What about the injuries we inflicted?
Oh, so we inflicted them?
Okay, I have inflicted.
Okay, so there's an incision on the thorax from a chain cutter. I wouldn't mention it. Better not to muddy the waters.
I agree, the waters are muddy enough.
See? These pigs are fucking corrupt.
Why don't you fuck him if you love him so much?
Now, injuries.
1, bite marks.
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted.
Write it down.
And your opinion, officer?
Non-fatal post-mortem.
Agreed. Next injury?
2, contusions.
So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Write it down.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Non-fatal post-mortem.
Right. Next,
Ligature mark.
a dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Write that down.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible.
Opinion, fatal injury.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. But it's a start. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
First, how did it go?
Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy.
What else?
We were thorough with the list of injuries, too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
What now? And give him back his notebook.
Now, Now we put him in a body bag and I drive him to Forborg for processing.
The lieutenant looks at the dead man one more time, then at his
I
notebook.
forgot to have my
Then
trash
at the
bag
corpse
just in my
again.
hand with a flashlight while I'm looking at this guy.
He's thinking, did I miss something? I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something.
Search the body one more time thoroughly.
You run your hands over the victim's cold body, his limbs, his torso with its swollen organs. Maybe you should be more thorough.
Let's give up.
The corpse seems to yawn contentedly, as though it's glad you've run out of steam.
Do you think we missed something?
You can't shake the feeling that there are more secrets concealed in the flesh before you.
No, let's just leave it to the processing people.
I worked as one of those processing guys for a year. They are butchers and clowns. I once saw 20 CODs go misidentified in 1 week. Chances are slim to none that they'll find anything useful in processing. In short, you and I are the last line of detection. If you're not sure we got everything, we need to look again. And for that, we need to refrigerate the corpse.
Okay, where do we find a fridge for the body?
It would have to be industrial in size. Let's start by asking Gart at the Whirling in Rags and the Fritz store down at the gates. If they don't know, but only if all else fails.
Fuck are you looking at, Beano man? You want a piece of the Kuno? Wanna get fucked?
Only if all else fails.
Kuno looks like he gets around, knows Martinez, and its fridges too. Or remember the buttons on that intercom over there, on the side of the building next to the Whirling? One was for Revachol Ice City. Perhaps it's a clue.
I need to take another look at the body first.
Hurry. This is one task we cannot sideline. With every hour, whatever we are looking for will become harder to find.
Trying to remove the dead guy's boots.
I thought we decided to leave it to processing.
Okay, so you can sneak out of your room maybe, after he's gone to sleep.
I have leveled up yet again. Level up Inland Empire again.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center.
Revachol Ice City.
Silence. No one answers the doorbell.
Damn. Oh, there's people in here now.
Can I help you?
I seem to be in need of a fridge.
Yes. For the dead body. You want to put a dead corpse into my fridge, right?
Yeah, that's the gist of it.
Well, I have a fridge, and you're not putting it here.
I'm not even gonna ask why. You're just gonna say something mean.
This is a culinary establishment, not a morgue. You don't have to ask me why you can't store a dead body in my kitchen.
It would only be for...
Lieutenant, you too? You're asking too? No. The answer is no. I will not turn this place into some kind of macabre circus.
Wow. Turned the lieutenant off like he was a busted old radio. He really is the lord of his realm.
Let's go talk to the freight clerk.
do like the nice disco. We need to put a dead guy in your fridge.
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything.
Do you have a fridge?
Mm-hmm. Right behind you.
I need to put a dead guy in there.
You're joking, right?
Yeah, I don't think it'd fit.
Yeah, super funny. Mm-hmm. Right. You're joking.
No, I'm not
right?
joking. I need to store the corpse of a hangman in your fridge.
Okay. It wouldn't even fit, you know.
Now that I'm looking at it, maybe a glass-doored fridge in a public grocery store isn't the best option for storing a corpse.
Well, thanks for the clerk.
Okay.
Let's see here. Alright, I guess we gotta talk to fucking Kuno again about a fucking fridge. A freaking fridge. A fridge to put a man in. And then after that, I think I'll leave it there. I'll call it like...
Fuck does Kuno care?
Kuno, I need a fridge to stash the body.
For the fuck him. Good thing you asked the Kunmeister. Kuno knows a fridge. Perfect for freezing.
I thought you would. Where is it?
Bacon Man's in a rush. But what's in it for the Kuno? What's the return on Kuno's investment?
Fine, sir. I'll repay you for this information one day. Right now, the clock is ticking.
Kuno's clock's not doing shit. Kuno's got a fuckload of time.
Don't believe him, Kuno. He just wants to use your fridge.
Convince the Kuno to spill the beans.
By killing in his territory, someone has openly challenged Kuno. It's in his best interest to put them in their place.
Some arrogant shit thinks he can kill in Kuno's kingdom without asking the Kuno first. That sounds like a lawlessness to me.
A dark flame smolders in Kuno's eyes as he ponders your argument. Wordless, like kings do.
This outlaw's fate is in your hands. Let's make an example of him. Help me locate him using fridge body technology.
Alright, Kuno hears ya. See that shit house over there?
He points to the collapsed building with the bookstore.
A cold comes over you as you glance behind him at the crumbling colossus there, casting a shadow on you.
Yes, I see it. The big, tall one behind you.
You gotta get in that shit. In there deep.
What do you mean get in there deep?
Check the fucking basement, pig. Don't you know anything? Always check the fucking basement, recon style. There's a giant fridge down there. Fucking will fit, no problem.
You know, it's
It looks like a white bear or some shit. Try not to piss yourself when you see it.
A white bear? A polar bear?
How do I get in the building?
Through the bookstore, you gotta beg the book bitch. Used to be you could get in there through the doorbell, jam that shit. Book bitch changed that. Kuno doesn't beg, so
Book
Kuno
bitch is
doesn't go there
definitely a
anymore.
term. Beg the book bitch.
Yeah, book bitch, beggar. You stupid or something?
He means the bookstore. We have to ask. Plaisance is the mother of the little girl peddling books on the plaza. We have to ask Plaisance in the store.
See, the clod gets it. Listen to your four-eyed friend.
Thanks, Kuno.
You didn't hear it from Kuno, pig. But don't forget where you heard it from.
Kuno owns you now, pig. You're Kuno's property.
Alright, I'm off.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
bookstore. And it's locked. Nice. I think I'll leave it there. It's a very good autopsy. There's a lot of cool shit that happened. And I think next time we'll try and find the fridge. And I didn't realize that I had to see the guy, the smoker man, tomorrow. Anyway, that'll do it.